tonight?
No, no surprise. You know, we expected them to respond from a bad loss. They did that. We expected them to be better defensively. They did that. We wanted them to get KP more involved in the fourth quarter. They did that. Late game execution. They did that. All turns out into a win. Check,
That's right. Check all the boxes tonight. Derek Harper joining us as well. What was the key to them getting back on track, Harp?
I just think they played with more effort, more urgency, if you would. And to Devin's point, they executed a lot better down the stretch of this game. The game, when it was in balance, I thought they did a good job of moving the basketball. It didn't stick so much as it does sometimes with this team. They moved it to the open guy. The open guy happened to be KP quite a bit. And as a result, they got results. I think holding a team like Milwaukee, obviously without Giannis, to 38% shooting points to their defense being the focal point of what they were able to do and find success with.
Yeah, the defense deserving a lot of credit in these big wins here at home against really high caliber teams. But we got to just get right back to KP because he was doing it all tonight and so meaningful, obviously, after last night. What a way, Harp, to step up and just show how much they really need him early and late.
Well, he was disappointed last night, and I think he showed you tonight why he was disappointed, because he feels like down the stretch of games he can score the basketball. And throughout his career, he's been one of those guys that can do this, catch and shoot the basketball from anywhere on the floor. Look at him getting himself organized and ready to take that three. Luka finds him and he knocks it down. But all in all, I think by him getting off to a good start, his energy was up. He didn't just score. He made a lot of effort plays for this Maverick team, and it turned into a victory for him driving there. That's the kind of play that most guards make, putting it on the deck. To see a 6'11", 7-foot guy make that kind of a play points to his skill set. He's a tremendous talent.
When you make a statement and kind of you talked about not being involved, you have to show results. He did that. You know, he showed guys like, hey, I deserve the ball in the fourth quarter. You know, feed me. Get that man the ball.
It's such a good point, right, Harp? I mean, if you got to back it up. If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Well, he backs it up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt about KP's ability to score the basketball. You know, every game takes on its own personality. Tonight, it went his way, and you know, hopefully moving forward, he'll continue to be involved in that fourth quarter.
And when you talk about win his way, it kind of needed to tonight with, you know, Tim Hardaway Jr. struggling the way that he did. We had an uncharacteristic game of Jalen Brunson only, you know, giving us 2 points tonight. So they needed that guy, you know, to step up. And unlike the guys that didn't step up last night, you know, KP put down and took it upon himself. But Luka did a great job, I think, of finding him as well. And, you know, like I said, every game takes on its own kind of characteristics. Tonight was his night.
Maybe he should go and talk to Coach Carlisle again before the next game. And that seemed to work and be the remedy for KP getting on track. But, you know, Devin, as well as I do, that, you know, the game is different. There's a different flow to the NBA game night in and night out. And sometimes it flows your way. I thought KP was really active himself, not just waiting on shots, just did a lot of positive things to will himself into this game in the fourth quarter.
Also love the way they responded after the third quarter meltdown, because that could have been so deflating to have a 12-0 run, which ultimately turned into a 14-0 run as they went into the fourth quarter. And Luka, Devin, had a couple of turnovers. The tech there got emotional, but he reined it in and he got it back under control. You
know, just signs of maturity. Obviously, you know, you're not going to end the quarter every way that you want to, but at some point you got to calm yourself down, get back to the game, and they did that. And, you know, Luka's got to really pay attention to his technicals. I think he's getting up there and where he can get suspended. I think he's got 4 more to go. But, you know, composure, passion, you got to learn how to control those things, and then they did that in the fourth quarter.
I couldn't agree more with you, Devin, on that. As far as this Maverick team, I think we forget sometimes that it's a very young team, and when you're young, there's a time in the game where you do have to be more poised and show a little bit more maturity. This team is still learning how to win down the stretch. If you remember last year, you know, close games, the Mavericks had a hard time closing out. And I think it's a work in progress as they move forward, and hopefully they get there by the time the playoff starts.
Well, wins like tonight certainly go a long way, right? When you have these in the memory bank, when you remember how you stepped up against these really good teams, especially doing it on the defensive end, Devin, that's the kind of thing, right, that can buoy you come playoff time.
Absolutely. And defense, can subside when you're having a bad offensive night. But this team is really understanding that this defense can carry them a far way. And when they play defense, the way that they do, the capable, the physicality, holding a team like this to 101 points, 38% shooting, you understand that, hey, this is where our money is.
Where the
number
bread
one
is
scoring
buttered
offense
right now. Yeah.
Number one scoring offense in the league. They shoot the three well, and keep in mind they're without their best player, but you play who's on the floor, and I thought Dallas did a good job against Middleton, who struggled mightily against the Mavericks defense. And you have Giannis out and you slow down their second leading scorer, you're certainly going to be in position to be successful.
Andrew Holiday, an absolute difference maker for them, had a relatively quiet night tonight, and finished negative 24 on the night.
Especially Dana in the second half. I thought that was the key. I thought the backcourt of the Milwaukee Bucks in the first half, DiVincenzo and Holiday, and I think that had a lot to do with them being successful.
Yeah, got a much-needed win. Got back in the win column. Harp, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Much more on the way here on the post-game edition of Mavs Live. We'll hear from the head coach, Rick Carlisle. We've got much more reaction coming in as the Mavericks take down Milwaukee. We'll be right back.
Porzingis had 26 points and 17 rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith, 9 points, 10 boards, 3 blocks. Talk about that collective effort tonight. Let's look at the highlights, specifically of our soon-to-be interviewee, Kristaps Porzingis.
Well, got going early like he normally does, and it carried over into the fourth quarter. But KP overall, very mentally prepared and ready to go in this game. Very active on the glass. Nice attack right there for a nice jam. He came ready to play. Got a lot of comfortable looks, and we know that once he gets things going, he can be a force as far as offense and scoring the basketball is concerned.
Well, the big fella can certainly be a force, as we see one more three on the highlight package, and the big man has got the headsets on downstairs right now. Chris, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. Man, that fourth quarter had to feel awfully good tonight. Share with us how it felt to have that significant of a contribution on this great win over the Bucks tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Last night was a tough loss for us in Houston, and we knew mentally we wanted to bounce back from this one. I loved how we competed in the fourth when we were the most tired. That showed that we have character, and yeah, it was just good to be out there in the fourth.
Talk about, KP, if you would, the overall success as a team. I thought the balance was good. The ball really moved. It didn't stick. And you guys really took over this game when it counted the most in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just, my teammates made plays, great plays. We kicked it to the open guy. Dorian hit a huge three at the end of the game to seal the game. And we just played beautiful basketball in the fourth here at home, and I think the fans enjoyed it.
Did you feel like tonight, KP, that the offense was moving the way that you guys needed to move, the way that you guys need to play to your best abilities, or there's still things that y'all can do differently?
I think there's still, things that we can do better. But that was definitely a step forward for us, and hopefully we can keep it in this, going this way.
Going to be at home a lot to do that very thing. Big fella, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Good to see you as well, Chris. Chris Porzingis with a 26-point, 17-rebound